everybody, welcome to bonus stuff. We just got done reviewing Marvel's Thunderbolts, so go check out that review. And
It's not
meanwhile,
Marvel's Thunderbolt. It's that one dude's electric shock Thunderbolts. I forgot what he says in the movie.
Sean's bike or car brakes or something like that. I can't remember.
Tires.
That was a funny repeating joke.
Yeah. So we got to talk about Last of Us because that's ongoing. What episode are we on? Episode four just happened. We didn't talk about 3 though. 3 was a very mellow episode. Basically deals with the aftermath of what happened to Joel and Ellie.
Michael did not like it.
You didn't like this episode at all.
I did not. No.
I got a weird text, or we got a weird chat from you that said, "What are they doing with this show?" So I got to figure out.
I want to know the differences between. I don't know.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, it's like, because I keep giving him the benefit of the doubt with the beginning of the season. Had he know, stop it, because it's like, we know who Abby is. Characters aren't in places where characters should be. Spoilers for Last of Us, if you didn't guess, because Tommy's supposed to be with Joel. Tommy leaves to go hunt them after Joel's death. That's why they leave. Abby and Dina go after to find Tommy because his wife sends him after him. That's why they leave. Instead, in the show just feels so unorganic and so random. It's just like things just happen because they just happen. There's no real rhyme or reason. And so we get the beginning of the episode and the beginning of the episode, we have trying to flash back in my mind. We have Ellie waking up in the hospital. Well, first we have Tommy over Joel, a good scene. Mm-hmm. Then we have Ellie waking up screaming in the hospital, a good scene because of this heavy aftermath of a thing. And then they have the skip time ahead. How do you stop it? And then we go to Abby in the. Sorry, I had to push my dog. She's being a brat. Hattie, Jesus Christ. Abby, Ellie, geez Louise, Ellie in the therapist discussion with Kevin's mom. And it's just immediately this swap to her, like we talked before. And I had that hope. Because we talked before. I was like, she hasn't changed in 5 years in the show, whereas in the game, she's so different. Like, I feel like we're watching the same character, and it's so annoying. That's one very strong sticking point where I'm like, I am not caring about Ellie at all right now. And that sucks because in the game, it's like you are with Ellie every step of the way, partially because you don't know who these people are or why they did what they did. And so you're like, yeah, you need answers. You need to find out. It's that mystery that they've just given away at the beginning of this season. And so then it snaps from her waking up at the hospital, very angry and screaming, and then to joking, humor. Oh, I'm fine. Therapy, blah, blah, blah. Giggle, giggle, giggle. I'm like, no, this is a somber. I know it's been time has passed, but like, keep the tone of your episode straight. And then they go back to the house. Like, it should have cut from her screaming to boom, she's in the house looking at Joel's stuff. That's the perfect tone to keep going through with what you're doing. And they have the scene with her and Dina at the table, and they're kind of past cookies. That's okay. It's a little goofy and childish in my opinion. I feel like this is more
tipping the line with cookies.
And tipping line, but it's like think about what this show the show is about. Now we know the revenge of Joel, like avenging Joel's death. That's what it's about. It's not about these goofy little scenarios and this little humor. Like, keep the tone. That's Ellie's main focus. She's laser focused on this. That's all she cares about. And it's just thrown off to the side with these dumb, stupid jokes. Like we get in the episode today where they have the stupid. They just have stupid scenes. They have stupid. We'll get to that. We'll get to that one. So then back in this third episode, they go off and just sneak off. There's no real reason. There's not like, hey, we're going to prepare. We're going to sneak out. Guy's going to give her
permission from that old guy.
The old guy gives her the gun. I'm like, you have the perfect reasoning. Tommy's pissed. He runs off by himself. They go after him. It's a perfect reasoning. Why take that reasoning away? There's no point of it. Like, no point in the Jackson fight. No point in this. And then we get this CW freaking trash scene. So in the game, when you get introduced to this like religious group, the people in robes and stuff, it is terrifying. You were literally running from something at Ellie, and an arrow flies past your freaking face. I think it hits someone, and someone dies. Like Ellie's being chased. I'm pretty sure Ellie's being chased, and an arrow hits one of them, and it's just like you hear whistling. Like they kind of introduced the whistling because he's teaching his daughter to whistle. It's ridiculous. And so then you hear whistling, and it's like you start freaking the crap out because you're in the middle of the woods and you have no idea what's going on. That scene would play so well. It's the scene you see all the time where she's against the tree with a knife in Last of Us 2 cover. It's that freaking scene. She's hiding from she has no idea what's going on. It's so intense and so good. But we get introduced.
And then you hear Proto Man, and you're like,
we get introduced in this stupid CW scene where it's like dialogue directly to a child. It's like, let me explain how bad works and whistles works, and it's the stupidest, laziest writing. It's like all of this whole season has been talking down to the audience so badly. It's like, let's paint a brush with all of our words. We're not gonna test your brain at all or trust you to understand what we're doing. It's just like, here it is. We're going to tell you. And I really, that episode, I had a feeling going into it. I was like, I'm not going to like this episode. I don't know why. And man, I just like that. There were good points in it, but it's just like the direction and just the down talking to audience and crap. And just like the changes are so pointless. Like here's where I was like, okay, prove to me what you're choosing to do is going to be different and worthwhile. And that episode was like, no, like, we're just being children now. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm watching Ellie as a child with her little child friend. They're being goofy and running off on this little adventure, not an avenged story of a woman who is pissed. And that's her. And she has a goal and a purpose. And that is literally Ellie, her character purpose. And like everything is resolved around this thing. Like I'm going to take a little bit from episode 4 now, because in episode 2, whenever Ellie and freaking what's his face are at the weed house, Ellie and Dina go to the weed house. That's where the scene where they get intimate is. That happens there before, because again, in this next episode, they take out this, which I think was actually mostly a very good episode. They take all this tension and everything, and they shove in this love scene where I'm like, no, you're terrified. You are surrounded by people and hiding in like a theater. We can get to that, but it's just.
It did happen. I was like, you can wait a night.
It's like there's no point to any of the changes they've made at all. It's like, oh, we're going to delve deeper into this. I do like the Isaac changes. We can get to that. They delve more into him. He's a guy from Westworld or
Jeffrey Wright.
Batman. Yeah. But yeah, I'll stop talking now. But that third episode, man, it really pissed me off. It really did. I was like, I don't know if you're just changing things to change it for your sake to make it your own, but I'm like, this is ridiculous, man. The childishness of it is getting on my nerves to an extreme degree now. Like, whereas before,
it does feel like children on a children adventure.
The hospital scene where she's talking to the psychiatrist.
It's so bad.
Child.
I was like, this is not this character. Anyway, I'll let you guys go because I was so pissed. I was so pissed.
You're gonna have to sleep on the hider bed with Fuller, Ellie, because you're being terrible. Jeffrey Wright was awesome though. He looked tough, and like I was afraid of him. He talked about Copper Pan, so I was like,
yeah. Yeah, it's weird that you mentioned that this cult is threatening in the game because they're not at all. They introduce him and then they get like wiped out, and then he's being tortured. These guys just look like victims. So far have we seen them in these 2 episodes.
It's like, why would you not have their introduction be them hanging? Like have that, like, I don't know, was it just so Dina could throw up when she saw the bodies, which is the lamest lead into her being pregnant ever? Because I was like, is that why she's throwing up? Like, it's just that's not. I don't know. It just felt so out of or so pinpointed that it just stood out in a terrible way. But anyway,
Jared, do you want to say anything about the 3rd episode? Do you remember it?
The 3rd one? I thought we talked about it. Honestly, I don't remember much, and I don't think I thought much about it.
I've seen a lot of, I don't know, debate or discussion about the old guy, because people are mad. Like Mahler was talking about it. Is like, why did they make this change? Because in the game, I guess he just stays kind of a bigot, and he's not very sympathetic at all. But in this show, he's the one that says we got to go after them. screw that Buddhist guy over here or whatever.
He's like, revenge is fun.
Yeah,
let the little girls kill.
And he gives her this sniper rifle, and he's like, yeah, you go get him. And that kind of confused a lot of people. I didn't mind it because I didn't know the game. So I don't know. Did you guys care about that change?
Mostly in the sense of the fact that shouldn't happen because they should be going after Tommy and they should be given the go ahead to go rather than this. Let's sneak off and have this little rebellious coming of age adventure. No.
Yeah, Tommy is really just cut out of this. I mean, I'm sure he'll show up at some point. Maybe he goes after
because he has a lot to do in the game. He has a lot to do in the game.
So it'll definitely show up.
And it's like, what are you doing? He plays a couple major roles in the game.
But just looking at it from the show, that old guy, it just seemed like he was trying to patch things up or like trying to like overcompensate for being a bigot sandwich. And I'm like, he doesn't mean this, right? Like, because he's just like, yeah, we need blood and show them like that we're not wimps. And I was like, okay.
Lesbians. Changes his ways immediately.
Just got like a rainbow flag running around.
Just kicking straight people for fun. Just like,
God.
I've changed my ways.
Oh man.
Okay, so we can go to the fourth episode. I should say they got to Seattle a lot faster than I was expecting. I thought it would take a while, but they got there.
Horse is fast.
Yeah, that one horse. So episode 4, we get them in Seattle. They're sneaking around. I didn't believe at all because they're like, these are like army dudes, right? And they're like you said, it's child time. Little girl fun time throughout the city. They're banging on drums. They're like slamming a tank door open. It's like, what are they? They're going to be caught in like 3 seconds. What the heck?
Tank door scene was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, 1, utterly pointless. 2, adding to the humor of the show. And then 3, she pulls out her pistol and stands in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of an abandoned city. You're going to hide. You're going to get out of the way. If someone's going to hear a bang, you're think, oh, I'm going to take on an army. No, you're going to go hide. Just like put a little bit of thought into what you're doing here.
And we saw earlier that there's a guy on the Space Needle, like looking for stuff. Where the heck is that guy at that point?
It's a break. Okay. He gets an hour.
I want to like Dina because she's fun and, but she just doesn't fit the tone of the show, I guess. Like,
well,
I don't know.
A big problem with what this scene should be right now is Ellie is, like I said, her main focus is Joel. That's all she cares about right now. She's not talking. She's not making jokes. Dina's trying to pull it out of her. And so that leads into the guitar scene, which is so heavy in the game because it's Ellie kind of releasing a little bit, finally opening up a little bit in whatever way she can to Dina. And that is why Dina has the response she has, which in the show, I'm like, this is just, you're just goofing off, then you're playing a song, then we're crying. Yeah. It's like, there's no meaning to this. There's no thread or build up to this. There's no earning this moment because they're just wandering around. Ellie's super still somber and crap like that. And then it's just like, yeah, I don't know.
Also, it's aha. Like, who's crying at aha? What are you doing?
Aha is having their moment, okay? They had, they were in that adolescent show. If you remember, when they're driving around in the van, they play that.
And that's also in Deadpool. That's when they had their most moment.
Now they're doing the acoustic. Yeah, I didn't like at all when they were sneaking around, or because I was like, they get to this place where the bad guys are, right, or the other faction are, and well, we can go to the Jeffrey Wright scene first. Let's do that first. So we get introduced to him in the past. I think it's 11 years prior or something like that. 2006 or 2016 or something like that. Yeah. It was an interesting scene. He's with these guys. One of them's Josh Peck.
Josh Peck, yeah.
So they're in this this transport, and he's like telling a joke that's like in poor taste. They get down because there's the other faction. I can't keep all these factions straight. But there's the voters, I think they call them.
I have no idea. I don't know if they were supposed to be like Firefly people or wolf people or rebellion. I don't know.
So he gets out and he's like, wait here. And he gets the other guy out, not Josh Peck, the other young guy.
Guy that was still laughing at Josh Peck's jokes, but he was like, you can live.
He's like,
hey, you didn't tell the joke. You can come with me.
Get out and learn something. He like looks at the leader and they like shake hands, and then he goes back to the thing and he throws like grenades into the truck and closes the door. And he's like, he tells the young guy, hey, now it's your turn to choose. So that's his introduction. Pretty cool. And then the next time he's talking about getting some cool copper pans that he always wanted from Sonoma Williams. And this is the torture scene where he's torturing one of the Scar guys. I guess they're called. And the Scar guy's just like committed to his cause because he doesn't tell him anything. So eventually shoots him.
I feel like he should have went with cast iron. I feel like that would have done more damage.
But he probably didn't have a mitt though. He can't just barehand that.
That's true.
That's
he
true.
Says
I also
touched the handle.
I think it was just because he didn't have a cast iron. He just had those copper ones. So he's like, how do I spin this into something good? And he's like, oh, I know.
I will say the ending scene where he turns on and he's like, I will do whatever. And the guy already has his hand out. I was like, that was good. That was really good.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm not getting through to you. Bye.
Yeah. So we're introduced to all that. And then Ellie and Dina, they get to this place and they're sneaking around, not doing a very good job again. They see hanging people and Dina throws up, like you said, again. She had taken something from a pharmacy, which they refused to show us what it was because she was like we were going to be so surprised when we found out what she took. But yeah, they get in there, and then the other guys come, so they're sneaking around, and it does the stupid thing where Ellie tackles a man, a full-grown man.
I knew you were going to complain about this.
And she tackles him to the ground. I mean, maybe she gets him off his feet, but he would just go like immediately. I hated that.
There's a part where he has the gun. Does he have the gun? Is what I'm thinking of. But he doesn't shoot.
I think so. Yeah.
I can't remember.
So.
I mean, the more annoying part was like they jump out the window. They're stumbling. She fell quite a bit, so she's not going to be able to like just sprint. And they're just like looking out the window. They don't shoot.
Know.
They're like what?
I hate when they do that in shows.
I was like, what are you doing?
It's like have them get around the van, then show them come up to the window. It's an easy fix, and you don't have to suspend your disbelief that they're going to miss their shots from just down the way. It's like,
yeah,
it's this hobbling little girl, and they can't shoot her.
They can't shoot her. Spray and pray, people. Spray and pray. Yeah, I really dislike that part where they're escaping these guys, and then they get into the sub level of the subway part. And then the zombies come, which I like better because I think the zombies do a better part in this show than the actual humans as being a threat. The one thing I don't like is who knew handguns were so effective against zombies because every little douche
they don't miss, man.
Dude, is Dina more effective with guns?
Just higher
maybe
stats.
A soldier as Ellie, because she was taking things out. I was like, dang, she's a good shot. Ellie is always having issues. I'm like, she's not gonna complete her mission. It's gonna have to be Dina.
Yeah, so we get this chase scene in the subway car. It was all right, except for the shooting. It's like how. Like in the Mummy, it takes like to get the zombies down, and these are just like doof. When they get out through the turnstile, which is funny because the zombies are like, "Oh, you're pushing the wrong way! Oh no, you're pushing the wrong way! You're squishing me!" And then they run, and they get to that theater, and she takes a bite for Dina, right? And Dina's shocked. And because she's like, oh, you're going to turn into a zombie now. I totally forgot that she didn't know. I guess no one knows except for Ellie and Joel at that point.
Tommy and his wife, I think.
Oh, they know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At least Tommy.
So they get in the theater, and she's like, "Well, I'm going to sit in this chair, go to sleep. And you can just point the gun at me all night if you want." I'd be like, "Why don't you just tie her up?" I mean,
I know it's a little more simple.
And then and then she wakes up from like water hitting her face, and she's like, "I'm okay, okay."
Which is like, it's been raining. It's been raining the whole chase scene. It's like, just put a little bit of thought into this. It's been raining. Just have her wake up. Why in the water? It's been raining the whole chase scene. They go in, see the hanging people. They leave, get shot at, get missed, run through the subway, get into the thing, have the argument, go to sleep, then the water hits you in the face. It's going to be dripping in that spot the whole time. The house is ruined. Like, just put a little bit of thought into that. It's like, just have
hole opened up.
Have Dina knock something over or something, shaking or something, and then the noise wakes her up and she startles. Like, it's just like a little bit of thought into that.
Little bit. Just go to the bathroom real bad.
She's like, "Oh, crud. I'm hungry and I gotta pee." You know what? I need. Anyway.
So finally, she's like, "Hey, look, I'm still alive. Look at my bite, my cool bite." And she's like, "That is cool." And then we get the reveal that she's pregnant. And the most, like, I would not expect that response from finding out that you're having a kid with someone else. It's just like automatic smooch time. It was just weird. I was like, "What the heck is going on?"
It's like I said, this scene was way more organic inside of it's because this was after the kiss at the bar and everything there, and that weed place while Joel's with Tommy going to the thing where how it should have happened, and it's way more organic. They're together, they get a little high, have a little party time, then they have an intimate moment. But no, we're just gonna shove it in this point where they should be in, like, caution state, people around shot at us 5 hours ago. No, we're gonna just bang on this floor right now. It just doesn't make any sense.
Dina's hormonal. She's a new mom, but I don't understand Ellie. She should.
Ellie's been pining after her forever, so you got to give it to her for that. She's like, if now or never.
My only chance. I'm never gonna get to Abby, so the way I can't sneak around.
Oh man,
was that the end of the episode?
They get on the roof because they hear over the walkie-talkie they stole off that guy that one of the girls, Nina or something like that, was over. Nora, there you go, thank you. Was over at this area, and then it was getting exploded. And then they're standing on the roof, and they're like, "It's over there. We go, pew pew pew."
You see that white building at Lakeview or whatever?
Oh yeah. We didn't see Abby in these 2 episodes. We don't know what she's doing. I doubt
we'll see Abby for a while.
Wow.
Next episode's all Abby.
I know. I'm
wrong again.
I'm thinking sanely. Sorry.
Abby's pregnant, getting smooching with people. Michael's like, "What is going on?" I have 2 gripes about this episode while we were talking. Not gripes, it's just like annoyances. When they go into that record store, it's valid, but they have like a picture of a loot. I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What
Get that off the wall.
This is like pure Seattle." But then I was like, they're sneaking around the city. She goes for the acoustic guitar. Get the electric. It's not gonna alert anyone, and you can still play your little song. I was like, that's stupid. But I guess Dina was just banging on the drums, so it doesn't really matter.
I know, she just goes right to the drums. These are little girls. They don't know how to sneak around.
Also, in the game, this is, I feel like, in a more area where it doesn't feel like they didn't just make a loud bang, so you felt a little safer. Having the loud bang with the tank just made you feel like this is probably not the wisest decision to be playing music. They just start jamming out with a hole that I feel like that hole in the building was probably pointed to the freaking Space Needle, so he could just bye. Right
in the guitar.
In the show.
Done.
This show
she's playing.
Again, this show could be over with a sniper rifle. If Abby would have had one out in the snowbank, and they would have
any clue what happened. Joel just went flat. Okay, we're all going home now.
Joel caught a stray.
Also, I know Dina and Ellie are post-apocalyptic children, and Dina didn't grow up with the whole like dudes with guitars at parties stuff. That's what made her cry. I was like,
it got her, man.
And it's not a very like
emotionally heavy hitting song.
Yeah.
She's not playing Green Day's Time of Your
Wake me
Life.
up when September ends or something. I don't know.
Oh man. Yeah.
That'd be funny if Tommy doesn't show up till like the very end.
It's going to be weird because the fact that he didn't go after Joel, there's a part later on where he and I keep saying Abby, he and Ellie have a big argument over something surrounding that. And I'm like, how are you going to make that believable if you do that? I don't know if they're going to do that, but I'm just like, yeah. And then there's another point where I'm like, he needs to be gone. He can't be just sitting at Jackson. What are we doing?
It makes a lot more sense the way you say that he goes after him and they go after him.
Yeah, because he is with Joel when they get in that house. He's the one who says, "This is my brother Joel." That's how they find out it's Joel. And then they freaking beat the crap out of him and knock him out. And then go after Joel.
So he feels guilty for...
Yeah, so he was there and he has this weight on him of like, he's my little brother. I should have been there. Pretty sure he's your little brother. Can't remember which was older, but anyway.
I thought Joel was older.
I thought Joel's older.
I don't remember, honestly.
I don't. Yeah, that makes a whole lot more sense than what we got.
Instead, it's just going to be like Jackson gets attacked. Old guy gives her a rifle. They run off and they play drums.
Dude, Tommy is comfortable in his city, okay?
He really likes that communist wife of his. It was weird that Pride has like totally disappeared from...
I thought that was actually a pretty funny line.
Yeah, it's like, what's with all these rainbows?
Why are they so happy and prideful?
Maybe they're really optimistic.
That was so funny.
I was like,
they are what that's about. I was like, that's pretty funny. Pretty funny.
That old guy would love this.
He's just on a horse, like shooting guns, like yes.
Oh my.
He's my new favorite character.
Oh my. Okay, yeah. So how many episodes is this again?
7, so we have 3 more.
That's it? Jeez. All right. All right, we're going to talk about
a lot to do in that time, but
we're going to cover Andor real fast if you want to hide your ears, whatever. But there's not much spoilers. These 3 episodes is what I thought the first 3 episodes were going to be, because it felt a lot more like Andor season 1. It's back to Andor. The slow burn was basically everyone's complaint is Andor season 1's so slow. And basically it gets back to that formula with these 3 episodes. Jared, what did you think of them?
I thought they were better than the last 3. I still had gripes with them. I liked one thing I'll say is the show does look good. Like I believe it in every city they are. Mm-hmm. I did like that new, I think it was a new planet they were on, the one with the spiders and whatever.
Oh yeah, that they had talked about it, but they hadn't gone there yet. I forget what it's called. But that's where Serial Guy is stationed.
Yeah. I thought his parts were good.
Yeah, I like Serial Guy in this one. Except for his mom came back, and I didn't like that, but
I liked Luthen's part, specifically when they're at the party. I thought it was kind of fun. Can't stand Mon Mothma anymore. I just can't stand her. It's just like we don't need her. Why was she like 20 when A New Hope in that movie?
Was she that young?
She was pretty young, wasn't she?
I don't know. I don't remember. But she's in Revenge of the Sith, right?
Is she?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, maybe. But anyway, there is some good parts in this one. I hated Saul. I forgot about Saul.
Yeah, Saul.
I hate that guy, dude. He's so dumb.
He just hangs out. That's all he does.
He just spouts off nonsense every time he's on scene. And everyone's like, oh, he's awesome. But he's like, oh, he just says nonsense. And the people are like, yeah.
He is the worst of the rebellion. I saw this article. It's like Saul Guerrero is the best of the rebellion. I was like, no, he's terrible for the rebellion.
I hate the rebellion. Like Star Wars, like the Resistance, the rebellion, terrible. They're terrible factions. They're awful.
And the Empire is the only good faction. We got
that's true. They're a little strict, but they're good people.
Maybe the Jedi and the Old Republic, they were good, but
I didn't like the two rebel chicks, their part. Because they
yeah,
felt like Imperials. They didn't feel like rebels. They were acting like Imperials the whole time. I was like, what? This is not how you start a rebellion. This is how you get people killed. Like, what are you doing? I hated it. It was so dumb.
Andor didn't do much again.
Nah, he didn't. He just worried about what's her face the whole time. And they just went out on these weird dates.
With electronic ice cream, whatever it was from. What was that show?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Mandalorian.
But there is some good sprinkled in here, but there is a lot of stuff that annoyed me.
It's still not up to the standard it should be, I would say.
I heard the first 3 weren't very good.
Not at all.
No, that's very sad. It's very sad.
Man, the Rebellion era should be good, man. There's so much stories you can tell with it. It's just, I hope it's supposed to get better as it goes along, so we'll see. Krennic was Krennic at the he was at the party.
He was at the party. He's like
that.
You like this piece of art? It's stupid.
Your favorite Star Wars character?
Oh, there is a really proud storm or Imperial officer at the party. Remember when they're like drinking? He's like, I already had like 6 of them. He was fun. I liked him.
Drinking Alfred's favorite drink, whatever that was.
Yeah. But yeah,
he was fun.
He's a fun guy.
Saul Guerrero. You like where he was like sniffing the gas and he's like tells the kid, sniff the gas.
Why is he a character?
I don't know. I mean, in Rogue One, he's fine, whatever. He's there for like 2 seconds.
He was just some weird guy that I didn't have to think about again.
He says that weird monster's name, some Gobola or whatever.
But he's like spread through the whole thing now, and I'm like, why is he on everything?
Yeah, he's like shows up in the cartoons and stuff. Okay, so hopefully it gets better.
He was in the Bad Batch. Remember that on season 2? I was like, why is he here? This is a kid's show.
Oh man. Well, I don't know. Okay. So I don't have a lot of news either. Superman leaks have a lot of people worried. Have you guys heard? Have you guys heard any of the Superman leaks? Basically, it's gonna be one of the plot lines is very social media heavy. So like
never goes well.
Yeah, basically Superman gets like canceled, and because Lex like runs this social media campaign against him. It doesn't sound good at all. So that has a lot of people worried.
Isn't that Dina chick in that movie?
Yeah, she's Hawkgirl.
Oh.
And she was Dora one time. Polygon was sold.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were expecting some of the game journalisms to fall. And Polygon was like the first one. But they got sold to a company that's pretty much like Polygon, so it wasn't a big deal. And then Super Mario Brothers 2 is coming out April 3rd, 2006 or 26, 2006.
Whoa.
We missed it.
The game?
No, the movie, second movie.
How do we have I know how, but how do we have a Mario movie announcement? No more Pikachu.
They don't want to do Detective Pikachu, Jared. They just don't want to.
So freaking cute. He's so freaking cute.
He's Ryan Reynolds.
That's even cuter.
Anime. Did you guys? What were you guys on Vigilante?
I missed this.
I feel like this reminded me to watch that show, and then I wasn't on this, and now I forgot. I got 2 episodes to watch. Dang.
The last one. What's the last one you guys saw?
The last one I saw is with was it that eel kid? Remember when she's putting on that show and then he takes the drug?
So there was one after that I saw, which is cool. Watch that one. All I say is Endeavor's brother is so much better than Endeavor. Or not Endeavor. Is it Endeavor? Not Ingenian. Not Endeavor.
I was like, Endeavor has a brother?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, interesting.
Ingenian. So he gets a whole part on the next one, so that was cool. And the one thing I say about the main character, because me and Jonah was talking about, and he's like, because everyone knows that I can't stand Deku's crying. And Jonah's like, well, this guy just complains a lot. And I was like, I don't think that's true. But the one thing about it is there's this scene where he's using his powers, which is go fast on the ground. You'd think that would like tear up his hands. Does it like float above the ground or something?
I think it looks like he's hovering on like little soapy discs.
Okay, because your hands would just be like torn off. It's like, I didn't watch Lazarus. Did you watch Lazarus, Jared?
I didn't watch any anime this time.
None.
I didn't do crap this week, honestly.
No crap.
Did you watch any anime? Continue any anime? What were you watching on Netflix or something?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I continued for Aaron. I've got a few episodes further into that, but didn't get too far. Meant to finish it, but then didn't finish it. But I'm gonna finish it,
man.
Is that in season 2?
No.
Season 2? No.
It's still just one.
People love it. They say it's like instant classic.
It's a very slow burn. That's very good.
When it first came out, it was making me mad because for the longest time, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was on top of Mal for like years, and then this came out, and it was like on top, and then it was getting all the awards at Crunchyroll, all the awards at anime things, and I was like, I don't care about fairies or elves. I hate fantasy. It was just making me mad, and everyone's like, "No, it's good. It's good." And I was like, "Yeah, right."
Instant classic, they say. I started the Apothecary Diaries. It's very good.
That's the other one I need to watch because it was the other best and nominated one.
It's really good. It starts off, so this girl, she's an apothecary. She got really good, like, complete personality, because usually I would think she was just like, the hyper anime girl. She's not like, she's like super serious at times. She's like very knowledgeable about stuff. She's just like this weird, complete character you don't get a lot in anime. But she gets kidnapped from where she lives, and she gets taken to the palace. So this is like Chinese mythology or whatever. She gets taken there, and then they find out that she's actually pretty good apothecary. So they make her a taster, where she tastes the food, see if it's poison. So that's her job. And at the first few episodes is she kind of learning about all this like concubine agendas and stuff, like how the court works and stuff like that. And her love interest is a eunuch, and he's like so beautiful that she thought he was a woman at first, and then all the other girls like love him. She's like, oh, he's so beautiful. It is funny because she always thinks he's gay or something. She's like, is this guy gay? So they have a funny relationship. And then after you get through kind of the setup for the whole thing, you get into these detective stories, and it's really interesting. She's like trying to figure out how people died, or like how people got poisoned and stuff. And it's like she's got like Conan level deduction skills, and it's like that's pretty amazing. So it's been pretty good so far, and I like the opening, the OP. So even the closers are okay.
I've only heard good things about it, so.
Yeah, I started the first season. It's one of those long ones. I haven't watched a long one in a while. It's like 24 episodes for that first season. And I think the second one is still going on. So
it's how forever it is. I think it's like you're 24 or 28. It's long.
Back to the long form, Jared.
I don't do that anymore.
Bleach doesn't come out till like next year or something. That sucks. And then Solo Leveling's like 3 years away or something like that.
Oh, I might just read it. I don't. I can't do another like Attack on Titan. That's too long of a wait, and it's just no.
You're just gonna spoil yourself.
I'm just gonna have to spoil myself. I'm gonna see why that girl smells people.
He likes the smell. All right. Did you do any homework, Jared?
A little bit.
Okay, what'd you do?
YouTube, I didn't do too much. I did subscribe to a couple people. The first one is, I don't know how to say this, and he refused to say it on one of his videos when I was um trying to look it up before this podcast. His name is Polter Gibbist. I don't know. But he has these videos on like the best twists in horror, and he's been talking about a lot of episodes of like Twilight Zone and Black Mirror, and he's just been going over a few episodes. One episode I actually remember seeing from the Twilight Zone, and some I haven't seen at all. So it's been cool seeing those twists and like
the first season of Twilight Zone. You guys should watch. It's because they're only like 30-minute episodes and they go fast, but interesting story.
I always fall asleep during Twilight Zone. He has other videos like on movies and stuff like that. Like I've seen his one on Late Night with the Devil, which I watched last year. That was really good.
Oh, you saw that?
Mm-hmm. I think I talked about it on here.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I don't think I talked about it in depth because Thomas was going to watch it and never did. So, but that movie is really good. But yeah, he had a few videos that I really liked, and then I started watching this girl named Clover Girl, and she had a video on like character designs in Final Fantasy. I don't know why I watched it, but it was pretty interesting. It's just talking about like all the different black mages throughout the series. And then she had one on the, is it Thief or Ninja class, and the other one, I don't know much about Final Fantasy, so I only honestly cared about the design, so I think that's why I started watching them. But they're pretty cool videos. I liked them, so I'm excited to see what other videos she has. And then as far as music, I've talked about Lights before on this channel. She had a new album come out this week or the end of last week. Trying to pull that up. I forgot the name of it. Dang it.
What's the name?
I don't know. I can't pull it up.
I've heard of Lights.
Actually, I had a song of theirs come that I had added to my favorite playlists yesterday.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't remember what the song was called, but
it's called A6.
Ace of Base.
It's like this album sounds like a kind of a lo-fi, kind of like what would you call it? Like kind of like a beach indie beach rock kind of album. Usually it's more like her stuff's more electronic and stuff like that. It wasn't bad. A lot of the songs I wish went in a different direction. They're just kind of lighter and kind of like slower than I would have thought. But I did enjoy it. But that's all I did this week. I didn't do much.
I had 2 weeks to not do very much. But after, because last time we were on, we did our music stuff, and I was talking about how I didn't have a lot of new music that was hitting, and then it was like Instagram was listening because it just threw me. I was just adding artists like for a whole 3 days afterwards. But,
oh yeah.
But the one I want to shout out is called Leap, just LEAP. It's like I think they have 2 EPs, maybe just a bunch of singles. I don't know if they had an album or not, but like I just didn't hear a song I didn't like. Like not all of them were amazing, but there wasn't a song I didn't like. So very fun, kind of rockish band. So yeah, dope with that. And then I watched right before this, because you guys talk about Star Wars. I watched an episode of That 70s Show. I was eating dinner, and because Donna and Eric at this point are engaged to be married, and then they're doing the deed before marriage, and so there's a pregnancy scare with Donna. And then so the parents all freak out, and they make Donna and Eric go to counseling at the church. And the first thing Donna, of course, they have the little circle talk where Donna's like, "Oh, I can't wait to go there so you can tell me how right I am about everything." And they get in there, and the pastor counselor is like, "Well, tell me what's something that bothers you better." She's like, "Well, he talks about Star Wars all the time." And I don't know if it had shown who the pastor counselor was, but I was doing making my eggs, and I turn around and it's the guy who plays Lando Calrissian. And he's like, oh, so then they talk about Star Wars for like 5 minutes. It's like, what a random cameo to be in. But they end up lying to him, saying that they didn't do the deed, and so he like praises them during church. And then they feel guilty, so then they tell him they did. And then he like takes them. The end of the episode is like him making them stand up, and Red just boos him in the middle of church. Like, liars. So I thought that was a random fun episode. And then I have one more episode of Righteous Gemstones. So it's out, but I just haven't watched it yet. That's over now, so that'll finish. I'll talk about that next time. Anything else I watched apart from a game I'm playing? Can't think of anything else. So yeah, just the game I started because everyone and their mother's talking about freaking Expedition 33, which the whole title is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Yeah. I'm just gonna call it Expedition 33. Everyone and their mothers were talking about it. It's like a turn-based, but throw in some action to not quick timing, but kind of like timed events, pairing and junk like that in the combat with it, which keeps it fresh. But I told Alex yesterday because I beat the first boss and maybe a couple hours into it, but it gives me massive Attack on Titan like season 1 vibes of just that, like there's a massive mystery, there's an interesting group of characters, they're all teaming up, and I'm like, dang, I want to know what happens. Like it's very cool. The style is awesome. There's costume design of what everyone's wearing. I'm like, it just looks dope. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's like functional, it just looks dope. Because they're supposed to be warriors, but they're wearing these long trench coats and everything. Looks like what was that game I'm trying to think of? Oh gosh, that had another number in it too. Is that PlayStation game, Vampire Werewolves? We didn't realize that till later on in the game. Spoilers. Oh, it was a one-off. Dang it! What was that game called? With the oh my gosh. Anyway, old timey kind of like 1800s
Order
game.
66.
Order 66. I knew it had a number in there.
Oh, okay.
That kind of like just kind of cool style and everything. Yeah, so it's just basically like the whole world dies before, I think it's the age 33 they die, or it's just the Expedition 33 movie. But anyway, they die young. Everyone dies young because the paintress takes their life, whatever, and they can choose to go on the expedition to the main continent to try and defeat the paintress so everyone can grow old. And so that's where you start in the game. Some people choose, so you're at I forget what they called it, the like basically year festival where the people who are going to die, and then you have one more year left, so you go on the quest with everyone else to go do it, and things go very wrong very, very quickly. And it's that's where it's like, oh crap, what? It's just like it got hooks in me really good. And then the combat itself is just awesome. It has that very, very satisfying turn-based, like, you're dealing with weaknesses and crap like that, but also you can, at any point in time, you have this meter on the bottom that builds up with just regular attacks, so you can build up points, get it all the way. You can overcharge and do a massive attack, or you can pull out your gun and it doesn't count as a turn, but you can shoot as many times as you want as long as you have those points. So they have weight points on their bodies. You can pull out your gun before you do your turn's attack or whatever you want to do, heal, whatever it is. You can shoot the weaknesses out and then continue on with your stuff. So it's there's a lot of choice. It's not just like, oh, pressing A to attack, pressing A to attack. There's a lot of choice involved in what you can do and what you have to do to be able to do abilities. So I only have 2 characters. The other chick is, I guess, a mage type, whatever. She floats around, and she has a lot of elemental abilities, but you have to do certain attacks to gain the points to spend on the elemental attacks. So there's just a lot that you have to go into. It's not just a mana system. There's a lot going into attacking to prepare for other attacks, which is very, very cool. It keeps you thinking, very interesting. I'm not too far in it, like I said, but so far I'm like, dang, yeah, everybody's right. So if it gets better than it is, I'm already in. And it's also very linear, which it's so refreshing nowadays where everything feels like it has to be open world. It's very linear. It's just like you going through, there's like open areas, but it's very similar. Like, where you're going so far for me. Where you want to go. And there's like a little side guy. He's like, I need light for my lantern. Yeah, I can help him if I want to. I did help him, but you don't have to. You can just keep going on. So I appreciate
in the dark.
I appreciate a focused game, which is very nice. But it's dope so far. I think it's on Game Pass, so you both will have access to it.
It's on there.
So.
I saw it.
I started a game. I forgot.
What was it?
So, like a month ago, I was like, "Hey, Chris, I haven't played much JRPGs. You've played a ton. What should I play from specifically the PS1 era? I don't know. I was gonna emulate it. So I was like, give me the best PS1 JRPGs. And he gave me this long list, and out of it, there was Lunar, the Silver Star, came out PS1, of course, and he's like, "Don't play it yet. There's a remaster coming out." So he got me the remaster.
Oh,
So
dang
it has 1 and 2 on there. So I started the first one. And what's interesting is that I haven't gotten far into it. I got like to the first town. The big notable thing is like one of the main companies that put it out is like that. What's that anime company, that Kodakawa one? That you see on a lot of anime. But they usually do like they produce anime, and so I was like, oh, okay. And so there's like cutscenes in this, and I was like, oh shoot, that's kind of cool. It's a classic JRPG. The battle's a little different because your characters can move a certain amount of spaces during their move, and this messes me up. This messes me up quite a bit because like these bees do whatever the freak they want, and I'm like, wait your turn.
It's not your turn.
So they're going whatever the freak they want, and then I have to plan for that. And I'm like,
remind you of that whitest kid you know skit. It's not your turn.
It's not your volley. But yeah, it's so far so good. It looks really good. And then you get these cool cutscenes. I had this one where like I was in the forest. We got surrounded by a bunch of dudes, and we're like, we're gonna die because we can't take on this many guys. And this big general dude comes out of nowhere. And so far, I've been doing like 20 damage, 15 damage an attack. This guy does like 300 and some. I'm like, well, I see how strong I'm gonna get. And then he just takes them all out, and I'm like, oh, thank you. And then we got to that town, and I was like, and then the town's huge, so I'm like, I gotta go into a lot of buildings and talk to people. So it's been pretty fun so far.
Pretty dang fun. All right. I have a pack I can open.
I'm sorry, Joseph. I have to cut you off one more time.
Go ahead. I got to open this pack.
He's opening packs on the thing.
I did totally forget about Doctor Who because I was going to
ask you too. It's been like a roller coaster because I've heard like, wow, that was a great sci-fi episode, and then this one was like terrible.
I haven't seen the most recent episode. So I probably missed the one that's because the great sci-fi one was the one before this one. I do have complaints about it, but episode 2 was I was excited for episode 2 going into it because it felt like a very supernatural kind of like monster of the week. They go into a theater there was a cartoon that these people were watching, and it jumped out of the screen because moonlight hit the freaking projector or something like that. I don't know. Is just kind of throwaway, whatever. And so Doctor gets there and kind of brings in the horror, and like they're like, oh, wait, is he talking to us? Whatever, something like that. Plays in that fun way. It throws them into cartoon world, but then it just kind of loses kind of what it's doing. Like I'm like, where are we going with this? And they try and bring in because not you guys don't know, but in the last season they played with a lot of like, oh, this is death, and this is time, and this is the music god, if you want to call it that, whatever. So this was like moon god or light god or something. I don't know. So they brought in that and tried to make it too big. So it was good premise for an episode. But the projectionist, who was the only guy left in the theater at the moment, was the dad from Batman Begins. And I was like, I got to share that with him. I was like, never seen that man in anything else in my entire life. And he did a great job. He did a really good job. So I was like, good for you, Mr. Bruce Wayne, that we only saw a little bit that had scary eyes in Batman Begins. But yeah, it was an interesting episode. I do appreciate that they are continuing, although, because like I said before, they did the little different thing where the companion was like, I don't want to be with you. Take me home now, but they can't get home because the TARDIS is bouncing off their timeline. She's still trying to get home, but she very quickly kind of was like, oh, Doctor, not bad no more. I kind of wish they'd play with it more of like where she was still fighting him and like, you got to get me home now. They left that in the dust and made me kind of sad, but they're still trying to get home. So they have that kind of arcing goal, at least in mind. Then the third episode was they get onto a ship that drops onto a planet where everyone is dead except for one girl who is deaf. And they're trying to figure out what's going on. They keep seeing something out of the corner of their eye. Doctor Who always does that kind of thing. Oh, what is that thing in the corner of your eye? Blah blah blah. And I feel like they've run that into the ground too much. Their kind of themes of when you blink, the statues move. Amazing, incredible episode. Everyone loves it. but we get it now. And so in this one it was, something behind the chick that they can't see, whatever. And apparently the only way it travels is if you kill it, the thing comes onto you, or if you kill the host, then you are the new host is basically the rule of it. But they have this whole scenario that it was a very interesting episode. The production was very well done. It was a good episode, but they have this point in the middle where all the soldiers, because they jump onto how do you stop it? They jump onto like a soldier ship that's landing there. They're going in with guns blazing to try and figure out what's going on. And the second in command, we'll call him, says, you know what? I don't trust this doctor guy who came on with us, and Commander, we're going to outvote you and I'm going to take over. And so we're going to see what's behind this girl. And so they all go up and start lining up around. And it's like, instead of just them dying or something like that, because like if you look at it from behind, if you get directly behind it, then you die. And it just like, it does this like catapult motion where they go and just hit the other side of the room. It's not that far. Probably wouldn't kill any of these soldiers, but they're dead. And so we have this long scenario where all of them are and they're flying around. It's just like killing these people like can't flutter. And I can't remember if it was before or after it. It had to be before because they were all dead now. But the companion, which I like the companion a lot, I think she's very good. But this is like how I keep complaining about Last of Us, and like you're just telling us things. This is so they've built this whole premise. We get the idea you don't want to be behind this chick. It's a bad idea to be back there. That's clearly made. Then she gets down. The doctor comes back in the room. She's like, well, let me explain what's happening. You see this? She puts a little rock on the ground. This is the thing we can't see. And you see this? She puts another thing. You don't want to be behind it here. And then it stops. You're like, yes, that has been made clear for 30 minutes. We understand you do not, but it was the most absurd. I was like, take that out of it and take the flying people out of it. It would have been a really, really good episode, but I just couldn't get over this like demonstration visually of what the whole premise of the episode was about. And what we got clearly was she had to put these two rocks next to her, and the camera sat on it for probably a good 5 or 10 seconds. And I was like, I don't know. It killed me. But
what happened to show not tell?
I don't know.
We all understood that.
But then they did have a tie-in where it was a tie-in. They were actually on a planet that David Tennant's doctor had been on in a past episode. And so it was kind of like an ancestor of the creature he fought back then. That was actually an amazing episode. Because it would like take over their consciousness and like be very manipulative and tricky. And it had the kid who played Merlin in the Merlin TV show. You guys probably would know that, but very, very good actor. Yeah, so that's where we're at, Doctor. And there's this old lady that keeps appearing in every single episode where she was in the last season too, and she's just kind of popping up, but now she's like deliberately like they're showing her, focusing on her. She has to have some comment at the end of every episode. And so something leading to something, I don't know, but they are still having there's a progression line in this. So I got to give them that. I got to give them the props of we're not meandering. They're trying to get back to Earth at the companion's timeline. There's a purpose to it. So I got to give them that. I got to give them props for that. Good job, Doctor, for that. But the rest, yeah,
we'll see. Playing all over the galaxy.
I saw something where they were at a convention or something. I don't know. The creators.
No.
And they were like, hey, what's your favorite episode? And they're like, Blink. And they're like, what about this one? They're like, no, Blink.
Blink is an incredible episode. So good.
I got a cool Firebird thing.
Oh. I had 5 Wonder Picks today that were all in the exact same spot as whenever they card flipped over. I was like,
dang it.
What the heck? And then it's like a sneak peek preview. None of them gave me a sneak peek preview. I was like, am I not supposed to be getting this right now?
I know.
Everyone but Michael.
I did subscribe, like Jared said, to a channel. It's funny. It's called NFL Unveiled. So it's all old NFL videos, dude. But it's funny because it's like a British guy, and I'm like, I thought you guys like soccer. Why are you watching this? Why are you talking about football? That's all these football videos. Okay, so I did my 3 movies. In the theme was science fiction. First movie was called The Man from Earth from 2007. So it's got a backstory. So it was written by this Star Trek writer back in the day, like the original Star Trek. And he wrote this story about this guy who was like an immortal, and he lived a really long time. And so I guess he fell in love with this kind of story because he wanted to make a movie for years. He finally made it in 2007. So he like actually died before they actually made it. So that's what it's about. It's about this guy. He's a professor, and he gets together with all these other professors at some cabin, and he's telling like he's leaving the college, and they're like, "Why are you leaving?" And he's like, "It's time to move on." And eventually, he tells them, "Well, I'm actually immortal. I'm a caveman, and I've lived all these years." And they're like, "No, shut up."
Shut up,
He's like,
Steve.
"No." So they kind of like talk about how it's possible or anything, and they're like, "Hey, like you're telling us stuff. All the history you tell us is just like right out of the history book." And he's like, "Well, yeah, because like I didn't know where I was when I was a caveman, so I had to read about it, and that's how I figured out where I was and stuff like that." And it's like it's all right. It's a very low budget. It's got a couple guys like the Candyman guys in there, and Dr. Phlox from Enterprise is in there. So interesting way that guy talks. And then, but they get to religion, and I'm like, oh no, because like Hollywood can never do theology right, and they really dropped the ball on this one because there's like, okay, well, I was a Buddhist, and I wanted to spread Buddhism to like the Middle East, so I went to like Israel, but everyone thought I was the Messiah, so I'm pretty much Jesus, okay? And one of the ladies like freaking out. She's like, "No, you're not. You're a heretic," and stuff like that. But the theology they get like terribly wrong because he's like, "Well, my name was John, and you get Jesus from John." It's like, no, you don't. Jesus comes from Joshua. Jesus's best friend was named John. You should know that. And he's like, "Yeah, I just want to really spread
Close
Buddhism."
enough. I'm Jesus.
It's a J.
And they do that dumb thing that's been going around where, well, Jesus was really hung by ropes. He wasn't hung by nails. And it's like, what? It's like, why would he show you his scars if he was hung by ropes? And then he was like, I just really wanted to spread Buddhism. And Buddhism and Christianity isn't anything alike. What Jesus taught, what Buddhists taught, it's like nothing alike. So it's like if you're gonna tackle theology, at least look up some stuff before you give us these weird arguments. Um, so yeah, everyone loves this movie, but I'm guessing they don't know there's theology that much because that kind of bugged me. So the next one I watched, I really should look these stupid things up first. 2009, Cold Souls. So this one is Paul Giamatti, and he's playing Paul Giamatti, who's an actor, and he's in this play. He's in Uncle Vanya, and he's having trouble with it. He just can't get the characters. It's like really weighing on him. So he sees this ad in this magazine, and it's like, "Hey, if you're stressed out, come get your soul removed," and that helps that just lightens the load because you get this little, your soul's really heavy. So he goes,
pesky little light.
He goes and he gets this procedure, and the soul comes out of him. It looks like a tiny little chickpea. They say it's like the little jelly bean things.
You need it.
So he's like he feels better because it turns out you need your soul to feel stuff. So he's not really feeling anything. And they put his soul in like cold storage, and he tries
Save this for later.
Yeah, he's like, "I don't like this because I don't feel nothing. I can't feel not a soul. I can't feel anything." So they're like, "Okay, we got this Russian lady's soul. We're gonna put that in you. She was a poet." He's like, "All right, I'll try that." And he didn't like that at all. It didn't really mesh with him. So he goes in. He's like, "I want my soul back." And they're like, "Dude, we lost your soul. Someone like broke into the facility and then took the soul. It's this Russian lady she's a soul mule. So she like puts souls into her so she can smuggle them back into Russia." And she she got his because the guy who runs the things over in Russia, his wife wants to be an actor, but she's not good at it. So they're like, "Let's put an actor's soul into her so she'll be good at acting." So they send her over to America, and the only actor she could find is Paul Giamatti. They want to like Al Pacino or something. So they get Paul Giamatti soul and they put it in the lady and she's all happy. So Paul Giamatti's like, dang it. So now he's got to go to Russia and try to get his soul back. So it was a really interesting story. I mean, I like Paul Giamatti as an actor. He's like a fun guy to listen to.
So you'd be happy with his soul in you?
Nah, he seems like a miserable guy, but maybe that's just the character he plays all the time. Did you hear they're making a series out of that last movie with the Holdovers?
Really?
They're making a TV show out of that.
I bet that could be good.
Yeah. Last movie I watched was called Infinity Baby, and this has Kieran Culkin and that guy that was Bill in Freaks and Geeks, Martin Starr, and Nick Offerman's in this, and Nick Offerman's wife, and Stephen Root. But Infinity Baby, okay, so this movie's about this company that Nick Offerman owns, and he's like, we're gonna make a baby that doesn't age. So they got these babies that don't age, you know. They go poop like once a week, so you only have to change them like once a week, and you only have to like feed them once a week. So they're very convenient babies. They don't cry a lot. They just like coo, they say.
Even still, I'd want a puppy or a kid, not a human baby.
Well, they have a big discussion about like, who wants a baby? So there's two storylines. Kieran Culkin's like completely, he works for the company, but it's like completely separate story. It's like he needs to be in a relationship constantly, but he can't commit. Like if they want to get married or anything, he's like, no way, I don't want to have a kid or anything. So he hires this actress that whenever he gets tired of the relationship, he takes her there and the actress is supposed to be like his mom, and the mom never likes his dates or his girlfriends. So there's that storyline. And it's very Kieran Culkin. If you've seen like you remember that movie we watched with him, he acts, he's got a very familiar style of acting in all his stuff. And then the other story is the Martin Starr, and they got the baby and they're trying to sell the baby because you get like $1,000 for the baby or something like that. And they're like, hey, why don't we not sell the baby and just take the $1,000 for ourselves? And they do that. And then they give the baby too much pills because they don't want to change it because they don't
overdose the baby.
They're like, because they don't. He's like, your turn to change the baby. And he's like, oh, I don't want to change the baby. So let's give him twice the pills and then it'll only poop twice a month. And they end up like killing the baby. And it's funny stuff happens.
Yeah, funny stuff.
It's a black and white movie. And I'm watching this and I was like, this has to be like filmed in Austin. And then sure enough, at the credits roll, it's like filmed in Austin. I was like, this is a very Austin movie. It just feels like it's a weird indie movie. It just feels like it would be at South by Southwest, which it was. It's very short. It's like only like an hour long, but it is interesting. I wouldn't call it good or anything, but it's just a weird premise and just a weird movie. So that was
the whole time you're just like, I've been there. I know that shit.
For some reason, it looks like Austin. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like that looks like Austin. But it takes place in like the near future or something like that. Not too far off. But those were my 3 movies. So, any last words, guys? What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say. I don't remember. Oh, I know. Help us out. Anyone who has subscribed and watched, we appreciate you. But we would really like to see Jared review Imagine Dragons. So please help us get to that goal. That's our 250 subscriptions. We need to hear Jared do this. So I think it'll be fun. So
haven't I done enough? Haven't I done Nickelback? Haven't I done the Creed?
You chose to do those.
Those are self-inflicted punishments.
And then I don't know what the after 250 is. I guess
something like, towards Thomas. Oh, does he have to eat a bunch of cheese?
Thomas got to eat like down the craft singles during the review or something like that.
Worse cheese.
And then when we get to 500, I'll watch the Twilight Saga. So that's all. We got to figure out how to get like me watching the Twilight Saga or something.
My sister texted this weekend and was rewatching those. She was like, "Oh my gosh, these movies are horrible now." I'm like, they were horrible then, but they're strange movies, man. The first one was just a long music video, is all it is. It's very strange.
I've seen a lot of people on YouTube watching them over, and I'm like, what the? Why is it happening again?
There's a guy who just reenacts Twilight scenes. He's devoted his life to Twilight.
Man. What a life.
What a life it is. All right. So that's going to do it for this time. Like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff. And we will see you next time. Bye.